Hey everybody, welcome back. It's me saturating the market again with videos. Hey, I just wanted to do I was going to just wait. I didn't show all the sanding on this, but I was going to wait until I had it all painted to show this, to show it done. But I noticed a few things while I was painting that I thought would be good to bring up. For one, this is the only paint I had with me that was gray, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's paint and primer mix. I'm not a huge fan of the paint that's got primer in it. I think it's better just to prime it than paint it. But that's what I had, and I wanted it this color. So. But I was going to show you, after you do your first coat, it's, especially this is raw wood, it's going to soak in a lot. I've got it sanded, I got the tape on it to cover the epoxy top. I got a bunch of old shirts and pants that I cut up for rags laying down so it doesn't scratch top. But I was going to show you a couple things on it and the reason why I did some of it. Normally, when I do these tables, sorry, I was going to get this out beforehand and I spaced it. There's, normally, sorry about that, like on this one, I drilled through, which they actually got paint holes right now, but I drilled through and I put screws in it to hold the top down, which is fine, you can do that. But with as thick as the top is, I didn't really have a problem with it, having a lot of purchase on what it could hold on to with the threads. But the underneath side, normally on these tables, if you look on the inside there, this is a castle joint on here. Show you over there, it's a castle joint. And then you half lap your ends so that they both fit in there and they cross over, and then through the middle you drill it and put a screw into the leg and it holds it good. So you got a screw in it, you glue it and everything. Now normally I will just do the half lap or the castle with the half lap and have a little bit of the half lap sticking out past for like aesthetics. It won't stick out past the tabletop, but it'll stick out past the leg. Well, on this one, these were legs that I had for another project that were actually a little bit too big for this particular wood that I had. I had to plane this down to this thickness to get all the bad spots out of it, the warpage and stuff out of it. So these legs are perfectly fine and they're sturdy. They're screwed and glued. It's still got the castle joint, still got the half lap, but I didn't want to leave them exposed because of that. And yeah, I could have filled it in and did all that, but just for aesthetics, I went ahead and put this board around the outside to just to cover that up, just because of the fact that these were actually the wrong cut for another project that I ended up not doing. So the legs are fine and everything, but I also wanted to show you, a lot of times I use these here. They're called Z-clips. And what you do is right here, you cut a little notch. You decide how many you want to use, but you cut a little notch, and then this part slides in the notch, and you have it measured up just high enough so this part is just off of the table on the wood itself. And then when you screw it down, this clamps it down and holds the tabletop on. It's these, like if this was a full-size table, even with the setup I have, I wouldn't have done with the screws. This one you can carry through a doorway. But a big table, I would have went ahead and did the Z-clips, so you could, if you take it somewhere or you need to move it, you can take the top off fairly easy. Take the bottom, move it in, take the top, put it back together. But something I wanted to show you is when you paint it, when you do your first coat, let it dry all the way. Because like you can tell here, you can see the grain of the wood still coming through. Because this is you know, it's raw wood, so it's going to suck up a lot of paint. Now, some wood, you know, obviously sucks up more than others, but, you know, do your first coat, let it dry all the way, and go around and look for imperfections that you possibly, you know, somewhere you missed or something when you were sanding that didn't quite come out right. And like this right here, I don't know how well you can see it, but from about right here to about right here, there's a raised area. That's from the epoxy that had dripped down. Some of it got on that leg, and I didn't sand it down quite all the way. So now I can sand that down. You know, I can finish sanding that down, or sand it down and get it down and put paint on it again without having all the coats of paint on it. So, but that's why I put this outside border around it, just because these legs weren't meant for this project. And I was making them work because I had them. And there's nothing wrong with it. You know, and when you paint, something, you may already know this, but when you're painting, you know, you've got your brush there. If you know you're going to come back in a couple of hours and paint this, or even the next day, if you don't want to take the time to, or if you don't have the time to clean your brush out at that point, get you a Walmart sack or a Lowe's sack, one of these plastic sacks, and you just put your paintbrush in it and wrap it up really tight. Okay. So now that I can come back in a couple hours and take it out and it'll be fine to paint. I can come back tomorrow. Now you don't want to leave it for 3 or 4 or 5 days, because it does start getting tacky by then. But if you're going to use it in a few hours or even the next day, just throw it in a bag and you can use it. And then, so the next video I do on this, I'll show you the finished product. And something I didn't even pay attention to until after I put the first coat on is the little nail holes from the brads I did. Usually I don't do that. I do hidden fasteners. But since I was going to paint this one, I didn't worry about it. But I forgot to fill in the holes. So once this dries all the way, I'll sand the spots that need touched up before I put the next coat of paint on it. Because being raw wood, it's probably going to take about 3 coats. 3 to 4 coats. And then, and you don't have to paint the bottom. I just did. But I'll put some wood filler in that and then let it dry and then paint it. So that's why, you know, you let it dry, you look it over, see if there's spots you missed, you know, and especially when there's like where these legs got turned right here and it's got the ingrain showing, that really sucks up the paint. And I sanded all that. It just, when you paint, it'll kind of raise the grain. So especially if you're doing a stain, but like I'm going to go through and I'll lightly sand all of this again, just so it has that smoother finish when I get done painting it. But I just wanted to show that real quick, and, you know, progress on the table and some of the things I've noticed that, you know, at least I don't think about. You know, you can tell where the paint's kind of soaked in a little bit more in some spots and everything. So it'll be 2 or 3 coats, maybe 4 when it's done. Depends on what I think about it. And so I'll show another video after that. And on the top of the legs up here, because, you know, different people's houses and stuff are not every floor is level the same. They should be, but they're not. You know, you make big floors, it's hard to get them all level. So I'm going to put adjustable feet on the top here. So wherever it ends up, like my house used to be a church, and our floor actually has a slight slope towards where the pulpit used to be. So all of our shelving and stuff is like I either have to make it with an offset on the legs when I make it, or put adjustable feet on it because of the slope that's in our house. So just because of, you know, our front room and kitchen area and dining room was where the sanctuary used to be with all of the pews, and they all angled just a little bit down towards where the pulpit was. So, you know, you make do with what you got. So, all right. Well, hey, thanks for watching. when I get it finished, probably early next week, I'll make another video. But thank you guys for watching. Oh, and I also wanted to say I made it over 80 subscribers. I wasn't expecting that. I really appreciate all the viewers and all the comments. So my next goal is 100. So thank you very much for getting me to where I'm at. I appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.